Welcome to the Electric Current Rundown podcast, episode number 10. And I'm your host, Phil Defiance, and I'll always say I'm here to encourage the spread of intriguing knowledge that can spark fires in the minds of those seeking inspiration and truly improving the world. And yes, so what I'm going to talk about on this episode is an intriguing story about what happened in the late 90s with a volcano on a Caribbean island. A continuation of where I left off on the last episode. Then when I'm done with that, I'm going to talk about the Russian conflict and President Biden's last efforts of aggression weeks before Trump takes office. And lastly, I'm going to talk about what I read about in an article regarding strange plans formed from global elites at one of their recent gatherings. And my thoughts on that. But okay, so now, continuing on from where I left off on the last quick episode that I just posted a couple days ago, on the topic about an intriguing story about what happened in the late 90s with a volcano on a Caribbean island. It was 1997, Montserrat, the island, also known as Emerald Isle. It was a British colony. The volcano was Saphir Hills. The locals didn't trust the scientists when they told them that, their volcano's about to erupt in a few years. And so, they were notified about that in the 80s. And, it wasn't like the next day, but about 15 years later in 1997, suddenly the volcano was going crazy. And it wasn't just for a week or something. No, it was for a couple years. Or actually, more than a couple years. It's still erupting, decades later. It was especially active a decade ago. And it's still a little bit active even today. And so it was a disastrous situation happening over there. But the locals had no idea because they didn't trust the British that told them, or the scientists in general that told them that this was going to happen because, as I said in the last episode, that volcano was dormant and had been for a long time. So, suddenly once it started erupting, people were probably hopeful that it would only be for a little bit, but then it turned out to be for a long time. And then, it was a disastrous situation, and the people were told to leave their homes. And, even the governor of the island was, saying that he only will support rescue efforts when it comes to the locals. And, there was a bad situation, too, because, pets. A lot of people have pets, right? So, they had a problem because a lot of the people left their pets at their houses. Because, of course, they wanted to save their own lives. But at the same time, they loved their animals, but they couldn't save them because, they were even told by the government to just leave immediately and not even with anything, just yourselves, and that's it. So they left all their animals, or most of them left their animals, probably all of them even. They left their animals over there back at their homes while this volcano was erupting. And then at that time, there was some guy that was really well known for saving animals in disaster situations. And so he heard about this situation, so he went to the island and he started trying to round up the animals that were at risk of dying. And it took him quite some time and a lot of effort, but he did it. And it was a huge effort. A really good thing. It was a success. It was a beautiful thing if you think about it when it comes to the animals. But at the same time, you got to think about the other aspect. They were sending the animals to Florida. And also they were sending them... there was a situation where they didn't even know where to send them. And the locals, as well as even the people in Florida that were hearing about the situation, they were why? Why are you saving the animals? What about the people? Okay, I'm going to finish off on that topic. I just have a couple more things to say about it. But before I get to that, I'm going to just go to this quick break where I'm going to say At planebold.com, we have an expanding catalog of high-quality clothes and consumer goods. If you want really cool-looking clothes or consumer goods at low prices, check us out. Go to planebold.com. You'll love some of the designs we have. Whether you want to get premium or just standard items, we know you'll love it. You'll see. You'll also love the killer deals on consumer goods. Go to planebold.com today. That's plane, like airplane. Planebold.com. And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, so they were pissed off, the Floridians even, as well as the locals. They were like saying, okay, you're saving the animals, but what about us? The locals were saying that, and the Floridians were like, what about those people? So they had a very good point at the same time. It's true, like, animals are important, but so are people. And I mean, I have had quite a few animals in my life, so of course I could see that. I mean, see the logic in that. I have sympathy for that. But like, I mean, still, it's like, you gotta save the locals too. You gotta help them. And so it was like a really tricky situation. It was an intriguing situation too. I mean, I just found it to be a fascinating story, and that's why I said it. And so anyway, okay, now switching topics to the Russian conflict that's currently going on and has been for a while now. And President Biden's last efforts of aggression weeks before President Trump takes office. And I mean, it's crazy too. After the election happened and when Trump had that humongous victory, like, what happened? President Biden said there's going to be a peaceful transfer of power. Peaceful? What is this? What's going on now? I mean, peaceful? This is not peaceful. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the transfer of power. But, I mean, if this was truly peaceful, then, I mean, what's this war going on? I mean, Russia has the most nuclear bombs on the whole planet. And when Napoleon went into Russia a couple centuries ago or so, his efforts at world conquest fully ended over there. Same thing with Nazi Germany. The efforts of world conquest ended in Russia. So, I mean, take a history lesson. I mean, generally. But at the same time, I mean, President Trump won. President Trump has said he wants to end the war. So, I mean, why is Biden all of a sudden increasing war efforts in this ongoing conflict? I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, right now, we're at risk of the whole world blowing up just because Biden is pissed off that Trump won. I mean, too bad. That's how democracy works. The American people spoke. So, like, why are you escalating this conflict? It's like crazy. I mean, the world might just blow up before Trump even takes office. I mean, I doubt it will. I have a feeling God's going to prevent it. But, I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, peaceful transfer of power. This is not peaceful. What's going on right now is just like, I mean, they definitely should not be increasing war efforts with Russia in this moment between the two administrations, as one is leaving and the next one is coming in. This shouldn't be happening. This is very unreasonable, and it's craziness. People should be like voicing their opinions, like call Congress if you're an American. I mean, call your local officials, call people. I mean, because this is not right. Like, people should be talking to each other, like, saying, like, we got to prevent this from escalating. Because, I mean, do you really want... I mean, of course, look, Trump won, which means people wanted what he was promoting, which was including his efforts at peace with Russia. So, obviously, the people want that. So, like, I mean... this has got to end, and it's just craziness. I mean, when you think about it, like the Democrats and President Biden acting like they're like good people or something. I mean, look at what's going on. They should be more respectful of the democratic process. The people wanted Trump to win, And Trump was saying he wanted peace. So why not have peace? Why are you escalating the efforts? It's craziness. But okay, so now I'm going to talk about our next topic right after this quick break. But, okay, so in the break, I'm going to talk about how great it is watching videos that really get at topics that interest you, that are to the point, entertaining and informative, intrigue and excite you, and much more. Watch videos like that at currently electrifying videos on YouTube. With us, you'll be impressed and you'll want to come back for more. You'll want to personally give us a diamond-crusted trophy for what we create. So check out currently electrifying videos today at YouTube or Instagram. And so, okay, anyway, now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about, like I mentioned at the start of the episode, is strange plans formed from global elites at one of their recent gatherings, the COP16. And yeah, this is similar to what I last talked about, but this is a different thing. The COP16, like what type of name is that anyway? Cop, like police officer? These people are the people that run the world, and they have a climate conference called the COP16. Either way, climate change, think about what happened in 2012 ClimateGate. They found out that the scientists were exaggerating those numbers. So it's a big hoax. And so now they're talking about trying to take away gas cars, make everyone drive electric, and all sorts of ridiculous things, ridiculous rules, and these are the people that rule the world, and they call their conference COP16. This is ridiculous. And all the things that they're trying to propose and bring about, in relation to climate change, climate change is definitely a hoax. Yeah, sure, there's hurricanes, but there's been hurricanes for centuries. This is just normal behavior. And the Earth's climate is never always the same. It always changes. Every year is different. Think about your own life. Think about it as a human being. Think every single year, the winter's a little different. The summer's a little different. That's just the way it is on Earth. And they're saying, climate change is what it's about. It's man-made and all this stuff. If you read books that were written 500 years ago, people mentioned things about the weather, just look at it. The Dark Ages, for example. It was basically an ice age, a mini ice age. So the world goes up and down. In the 1700s, there's a famous painting of George Washington crossing the Potomac River. And in it, you see the ice right on that river. There's basically no ice on that river anymore. There wasn't ice on that river 50 years ago. It's because climate changes, and it's not man-made. And so what it's really about is not about saving the Earth. It's really about them trying to control you and making your life crap. People can't believe this stuff anymore. Don't let them fool you, because they just want to ruin your life. They want to control you. Remember, freedom is what it's all about. We got to keep our freedom. We can't let these people to remove our freedoms at all costs, basically. Don't let them do this. And they're ridiculous, calling the conference COP16, as if they were police officers. That's ridiculous. These people don't deserve the power that they have, and they don't deserve any respect. Their climate change shouldn't deserve any respect. This is all a hoax. It's all to control you, to make your life worse. It's the truth. Think about it. But okay, so now the episode's done. And so that's another one from me, Phil Defiance. Episode number 10 of the Electric Current Rundown podcast. Either way, so follow me on social media. Subscribe to my newsletter. You can find my social media links at electriccurrentrundown.com. And yeah, subscribe to me on YouTube, or you could subscribe on the podcast platform of your choice. But either way, I'll always say I'm here to encourage the spread of intriguing knowledge that can spark fires in the minds of those seeking inspiration and truly improving the world. Well, stay tuned for more episodes. And so I'm just finishing this off right here. Till next time, have a good one.